Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney here for a Sunday sew along, but we're not doing a sew along or a tutorial today because I mentioned on Friday's video my basement took on some water and I'd not been able to really be in my sewing room, let alone film a sewing tutorial. So hopefully next week we'll be back with the Teddy designer top sew along from Style Arc. I really apologize, just some unforeseen circumstances. But today I just had a fabric haul. I'm buying fabric for fall and winter. I needed to beef up my knit stash a little bit to have some things to pull from. And every time I talk about fabric hauls, I get quite a few questions. So today I'm going to be talking through my 5 top tips for curating a wasteless fabric stash. So yeah, these are my 5 top tips. I have been collecting fabric for quite a while now. I don't know, since probably since 2006. That's when I learned to sew, was 2006. And I've been curating. Anyone that starts sewing, it does not take long until you fall into the equally exciting hobby of fabric collection. And then the sister hobby to that, which is pattern collecting. Anyway, like everyone, first starting out, I would, big sales. I would buy cheap fabric thinking, oh my gosh, it's such a great deal. And then like many of you, you start sewing with some of that stuff and it's just awful to work with. The garments don't turn out right. Or you fall out of love with it quickly because you really kind of just bought it on a whim and it's just wasteful. I mean, even if you did buy it for $1 a yard, it's just wasteful because you're not going to use it and then you end up having to get rid of it, gift it to someone, donate it, whatever. Yeah, it could just be a very wasteful thing. On that note, if you are someone that is trying to decrease your stash or is looking to be less wasteful, Caitlin from Sewing from Scratch has a wonderful Shelf Sewing September challenge going on right now, and it's just sewing from your stash the month of September and making that commitment and trying to use what you've got and be creative with that and that sort of thing. She's got a lot of great prizes and stuff. I'll link her channel down below, but yeah, go have a look at that. But I also find it to be a great aid in having a fabric stash for me personally. When I am feeling creative and want to really step out and, I'm ready to make something, I find having the materials here can be, then I'll get into it and just make it. And I find it to be inspirational and I just love having some stuff here on hand. I also like pairing things together, putting together collections and that sort of stuff with things from my stash. Sometimes then seeing the holes where I need to maybe purchase a couple of things. But I do love, and I just find beautiful textiles to be very inspiring in and of themselves, just to make some gorgeous things that then I feel good wearing and, yada, yada, yada. However, it's a delicate balance between curating a fabric stash that serves you and, it's just like curating a beautiful wardrobe where it serves you, you're not serving it type of thing. And I think the same with a fabric stash, a curated fabric stash that you don't feel overwhelmed with because, you just have so much stuff. But I mean, yeah, I do have a lot and way more than most people would be probably comfortable having. And I realize I have a gigantic stash. Unfortunately, I recently had to take my entire stash up to our guest room because of the water in the basement. Not that it wasn't in danger of getting wet, it's just the smell of mildew in our basement became overwhelming when the restoration guys came to clean everything up, and I didn't want anything to take on that smell, so everything went up to the guest room. So I've really had a good look at everything in my stash, and it is large. But, and I just went fabric shopping again for a few things. But I also sew for my daughter and my mom and my sister and stuff as well, so I mean, I do like having stuff on hand for all of that. And these 5 tips are also going to help you be able to take advantage of those sale times. So yeah, let's get into our 5 tips because now I've been chatting at you for almost 5 minutes. All right, tip number 1, get your colors done. This was something that I had my color analysis done in January of 2020, and it has been a game changer for me. I knew that it was going to be because once you know your best colors, especially as seamstresses, we're not a slave to what is in the stores. You can buy, you can find fabric in your colors pretty much pretty regularly, you know? Knowing what colors to shop are just, yeah. I don't get distracted. You know, if I'm at a sale, like there's a remnant table, for instance, and you're looking through the remnants, I can say, you know, okay, none of these colors work for me. I'm not even going to look at those. But, you know, here's an orange over here, or a tomato red that I know that I love over here. Like, let's just see what this is, you know, and go deeper. It keeps things from getting way overwhelming when you can just look at color. And looking at color, your eye picks up color like that, which makes shopping, fabric shopping, everything, even online, so much easier. So I had my colors done by Christy Russell. I'll leave a link to the video where I had those colors done. And yeah, it's been life-changing. I got the little book with all of my colors in here and all of that, yada yada. This spring, or this summer, my daughter asked if she could have her colors done. Christy's prices have gone up a little bit since I did mine, and I had been working with Jennifer from the Everyday Style School. I was a guest on her podcast, and she had Jeannie from the Color Guru on, who just does color. So Christy is a stylist as well. She does color analysis, but she's a personal stylist and image consultant, and does a whole bunch of really cool high-end things. But Jeannie from the Color Guru, they do colors. They do. Although she does one-on-one consultations and stuff like that too, but she will do your colors and give you your makeup colors and everything like that, all online. It's all virtually. So I thought, you know, I'll try that for my daughter, and we did, and I got her makeup colors too, but that's just not pertinent to this video. And you get things on a card as well. This is my daughter's colors. You get things on a card as well as digitally. And, I mean, she even has on here, like, this is my daughter's signature color, like this kind of berry. My daughter's a calm summer. And then, like, you know, this is kind of a soothing color that she could wear. And I tell you what, she had on a shirt in this color, right, this green right here, the other day, and I'm like, God, that is just stunning on you. I mean, she was like doing her homework, and she would look up, and it made her eyes look that color. Oh my God, it was just stunning on her. It really does make a difference, you know, when you're looking at someone that's had their colors done. I'm like, wow, that really is nice. So this is great when you can go and go to the fabric store. And what I really like about these cards, now I do like having the actual, like, you know, where you can flip through and have a little bit larger, like, fabric samples. I really do like that. But what I really love is when you have a print, for instance, a print, and you're like, well, you know, there's a lot of colors in there. Sometimes prints overall, because there is some warm ochre in this print, for instance. You see that warm, like, ochre color? So you're wanting to know, like, how does this read? When you just set the card on top of that, you're like, yes, that is completely in her colors. And we held it up to her because I was shopping without her. It looks great on her. So that is one thing I love about the colors. You could very easily go to a paint store and make your own little, like, flip through if you wanted larger samples. But yeah, and then she, like, mixes them all together on the back. I've just been really impressed. I do have a 10% off coupon for you guys. It's Tomcat Color and it's 10% off any of her services that she does. But as part of that, it's also an affiliate code for me, which means I do make a commission off of that. It doesn't cost you an extra. In fact, it takes 10% off your order, but I do make a small commission on that. But she wanted to go ahead and do my colors just so I could be part of the verbiage with her as well. And actually, Christy has me as an autumn, but like just a straight autumn, but she put me as a coppery spring, which, here's the colors that she has me at, and they are, I mean, it must be like a sister with Christy's. So if you look like the neutrals, like that's, yeah, like right there. And then Christy's colors are a little darker, but they do still, like, resonate. Like, Christy's got more darker colors than Jeannie had for me. But yeah, like, all of these, they're, like, virtually the same. I have a couple more, like, brighter yellows that are on here. Like the greens, I have, like, a little bit more of, like, a lime that I can wear. But yeah, they're very clear colors. So they're very similar. You really don't have to have your colors done more than once. These are the blues. I've got like, there's a navy and all that from Christie's. And she just has a little bit more of these lighter blues for me than Christy had for me. But yeah, and I've got a couple more purples. This is actually, these are all purples that are here. They're just really dark ones. And I've got some lighter purples on here. So very similar, but yeah, she has me down as a copper spring. Like the dark browns are great neutrals for me, which I knew anyway. Yeah, so that's what she's got me for. So I'm a copper spring on the Color Guru's chart. And yeah, I just love having it. My signature color is in fact the tomato red, which has become my signature color. Yeah, it's all the colors I've been wearing. So good. Anyway, so that is tip number one. Having your colors done just makes life so much easier. And then if you're buying things off of your color card, everything goes together, which makes putting fabrics together so easy. All of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, look at all these solids that go with this print. And then you can put together like clothing collections and modules and capsules together really easily when you're going off of there's 35 colors on this card. And when you're going off of this and picking colors from there, everything, they're all very harmonious. Here's everything together. It's all very harmonious and it all goes together really well. So highly recommend that. Second tip is knowing your style and that you know what prints you tend to wear. Do you tend to wear prints? Do you tend to wear solids? Do you like florals? Do you prefer abstract? And if you don't know this about yourself, Everyday Style has on their website, and I'll link the class down below, a signature style class that is so good. I took this and I think that this is going to really help me. It does. It helps me narrow down what type of prints I'm buying. Number one, I know I don't wear a ton of prints. I do wear some, especially dresses, typically dresses and tops. If I'm doing anything printed on the bottom, it's typically like a plaid. I'm very traditional. Like I tend to go towards more classic traditional. So like men's suiting type prints, stripes I love, occasionally dots. I do love a good floral. I love an animal print. I do love a good animal print. And, but I don't really edge towards like geometric necessarily, or abstract. That's just not stuff I am drawn to. And I also know when it comes to knits, I don't wear patterned like t-shirts. I just don't. Anything that is knit that's in a pattern, it needs to be a dress or a skirt, because I just don't wear like t-shirts that have patterns on them. All of my t-shirts are either striped or solid. That's just what I prefer, what I like to wear. So learning that about yourself also helps and takes it's so easy to get pulled into some of the beautiful prints. So I was fabric shopping on last Tuesday, and looking at some of the gorgeous knits that are in just some really beautiful prints. And I'm like, okay, I've already got a couple, like I need to pick here because I already have a couple that are gonna be dresses and I don't need that many dresses, and I'm not gonna make tops out of them. So I can appreciate them for how beautiful they are, and then let's go look at the solids. Because let's be honest, when you're fabric shopping in person, do you really go to the solids? Not really. Your eye gravitates toward the beautiful prints. So it just helps me narrow down, number one, okay, this is what I wear. I can appreciate that is beautiful, but it's not something that I'm gonna grab from my closet, so I probably shouldn't put it in my fabric stash. All right, number 3, knowing your general lengths of fabric to buy. I know that this can make so many people not take advantage of like sales, for instance. So, and this goes a little bit into number 4, but when I have like fabric shops that I know that I love are having sales and you want to take advantage of them, you know your colors, you know what prints you like, or if you prefer solids, you know that about yourself, or even what types of fibers you like to wear. And that kind of comes by trial and error. So you know all of that, they've got a big sale and you want to take advantage, but I love this print. This is a print I think I would wear, but how much do I buy? I don't have a pattern in mind and I don't want to, be stuck with a pattern. How much should I buy? My general rule of thumb, and this can be different for everybody, of course, if it's something that I think is going to be a knit t-shirt, a yard and a half. A yard and a half, I can get any knit t-shirt out of that, whether it's long sleeve, short sleeve, whatever. Even if it's got like a little frill, a yard and a half will do it for me. If it's something that I want to be maybe a sweatshirt, a little bit heavier, so like I'm looking at French terries, sweatshirting, that sort of thing, I'll go ahead and bump it up to 2 yards. For dresses, okay, for woven tops, so if it's a beautiful woven fabric and I think, oh, this is gonna be, you know, a beautiful woven top, you know, I'll grab 2 yards of that. I can make any woven top in 2 yards. And this is also, most garment fabric is 54 to 60 inches wide. If it's 45 inches wide, I will, you know, buy a little bit more. So instead of 2 yards for a top, I'd probably buy 3 just to be on the safe side. And then anything left over turns into bias tape. But yeah, that's kind of, most garment fabrics do come in the wider widths though. If it is a beautiful woven or knit print that I am, or solid that I'm looking for and thinking it's going to be a good dress, 3 yards. I don't wear a ton of full skirted dresses, so 3 yards is usually plenty for me to get the type of dresses that I like to wear, whether that be, I mean, a sheath is definitely, but like a wrap dress, I like to wear a lot of wrap dresses, or even something that has like maybe an A-line skirt or a 1/4 inch circle skirt maybe. Usually 3 yards is enough for me to get out of that. Again, if it's narrower, I might need more. And if it's something, you know, there is a wrap dress by Cashmerette, one of her newer patterns called the Rose Claire, and there's a gorgeous tiered wrap dress, and it's got a beautiful big sleeve. You know, if it's something like that, I mean, that takes almost 5 yards of fabric for that dress. So I may already have fabric for that dress, but you know, there are outliers out there that sometimes I'll have to buy specifically for. The Elodie by Closet Core Patterns was the same way. It's like a little over 4 yards you need for that dress. And I don't typically have yardage that big in my stash, so I did have to, you know, like buy for that. But those are outliers. So we're going for, you know, pretty much this is what I can do. Coating, any kind of wools, I will do 3 yards. I can pretty much get any coat. I am short, I'm only 5'2", so you know, you may have to adjust obviously for your height. If you need to add length and that sort of things, you may need more fabric, and typically that's where it comes. If you're longer, you'll need more fabric because your pieces are longer, and that adds up. So you just need a little bit more length in that. Pants, if I am doing just like your straight 2 yards. 2 yards will do pants. If I'm doing like a pair of knit, you know, cigarette pants, I'm making some ponte pants, probably a yard and a half is enough because I have short legs. But a lot of times I will just bump up to 2 yards just to make sure that I've got enough for all the pieces, and then anything left over can either become sometimes a skirt or maybe pieced together for a jacket of some sort. So there you have it. Those are kind of the lengths. I get asked that question all the time. How do you know how much to buy? That sort of thing. That is just kind of, if I can identify this will probably be a cardigan, then I know, okay, a cardigan, 2 yards. I'm going to buy 2 yards for a cardigan, so I'll just buy 2 yards of that fabric. I don't know what cardigan's going to be, but I know that, you know, I do want that to be a cardigan or whatever. So that's kind of how I go about lengths. All right. Going into that, tip number 4 is finding quality stores that you know you love. So one of the hardest, I mean, I had to drive almost 3 hours, an hour and a half to Bloomington, and then another hour and a half down to Evansville, Indiana, to actually touch fabric. I mean, I can touch fabric up in Chicago, but again, that's, you know, 3 hours north. It's just, there's just not as much, other than Joann's, opportunity to be in person in fabric stores. But there's some beautiful online fabric stores that I have been so pleased with. And I know it can be intimidating and hard to buy fabric online, but my biggest tip for this is to find stores that you have shopped from, that you trust their quality. And once you bought from them a few times and you know, okay, this is a fabric shop I really love, I am not disappointed. Anything I buy, I know is going to be good. And so this is when you can really take advantage of sales. For instance, StyleMaker Fabrics loves, I've never had anything that hasn't been of the utmost quality from StyleMaker Fabrics, and she gives out birthday coupons, and so you can get a 20% off birthday coupon for your birthday month. I always look so forward to February because I get my 20% off coupon. But in those situations, then I can go through and buy things at the discount without going overboard, but kind of the general, I need more knits in my stash, that sort of thing. And this kind of goes into number 5 a little bit, but knowing what you need and the holes to fill, then you can take advantage of those sales. The fabric store, that's another fantastic one down in New Zealand. They'll have site-wide sales on occasion. God, their Liberty fabric right now is 40% off, so go have, it's so tempting, but I am trying to, because I've just spent so much money on fabric here recently, I'm trying to resist. But yeah, it allows you to take advantage of a lot of those sales, coupons, that sort of thing, to really get good bang for your buck and allow you to buy the best quality for your budget, but allow to stretch that up a little bit more when you can buy things at a discount. So that is tip number 4, is just buying the best quality you can, and in that, finding fabric stores that are high quality and that you're just not disappointed. So then you're not wasting money on things that you're just not sure about. All right, tip number 5, my final tip for curating a wasteless fabric stash, is storing your fabric where you can see what you've got. So I have my fabric stored in these drawers. I mean, everyone stores it differently. But I have mine stored in these drawers from Container Store, and I'm gonna pan over and kind of show you. And I've folded them Marie Kondo style-ish. So they're folded, in half, the yardage is, and then I fold it in thirds, and then they get folded lengthwise on top of each other and then rolled so that I can see exactly what I've got. And then I organize it by type. So I've got my rayons all together, I've got my knits together, I've got my wools together, my cottons, all that, however you want to organize that. But I do have it organized, and then I have them put in by color, by rainbow color, so that I can easily see, okay, here's, I really want a red knit top. Okay, here's all of my red knits. They're all kind of right here together. So I can easily see what I've got. But being able to see exactly what you have is going to ensure you're not buying double, number 1, and also be able to, at a glance, look and see, okay, these are where my holes are. I need some knit t-shirts. I'm very low on knits. I only have a few pieces here. It just really allows you to see exactly what you have. Now, I know a lot of people use different electronic ways of, I think Trello, and there's a whole bunch of different ways to catalog their fabric stash, which is great if that is the way that your brain works. I like to look at everything. So just having them in drawers where I can just pull a drawer open and see, okay, here's all my rayons. I'm wanting to make a drapey top with some rayon. Here's everything I've got. Do I need anything new, or can I pull from here? It just makes me less likely to double buy when I didn't need to, and also really be able to see things, and pulling things out and coordinating them. It just makes it very easy to do that as well. So there you have it, guys. Those are my 5 tips for curating a wasteless fabric stash. I hope that was helpful. Leave any questions you have down below, and I'll get to those as soon as possible. Again, I apologize for not having a tutorial or a fabric or a sew along for today. Again, my sewing room's been out of commission. So hopefully that will change this week and we can get everything put back in order. Happy Labor Day to those of you in the US. If you are here and you've got a long weekend for tomorrow, while you're watching this, I am probably actually putting my basement back in order so that I can get back to my sewing room. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful, relaxing weekend, and I will see you all again on Tuesday. Have a good one. Bye-bye.